2014, amid Syria's speckled radar screens, a blip appeared, then vanished. No warning, no jamming, only a cold radio line. Raptor in, weapons away. 3 seconds later, a command center disappeared from the map. No one saw the attacker. No one heard anything but wind. On the night of September 22, 2014, the F-22 entered combat for the first time in Operation Inherent Resolve. Departing Al Dhafra, it led a formation of F-15E, F-16CJ, and B-1B, yet existed as if it weren't there. The AN/APG-77 in LPI mode locked targets from beyond 200 kilometers. JDAMs left the bay in silence. No flares, no pings, no early warning. Sensor fusion pulled AWACS, satellites, and ground electromagnetic signals into a single tactical picture. As the last glow on the ground faded, the Raptor had already left Syrian airspace. No radar held a track. No pilot confirmed a visual. The world learned one more principle. The F-22 deters by absence. After the Cold War, airspace grew crowded with sensors. SAMS doubled their reach. Phased array radars swept faster. CEP tightened. Soviet-era designs proliferated. S-300, MiG-29, Su-27 spread across Asia and the Middle East. For fourth-generation fighters, each sortie was a gamble. The USAF didn't choose muscle, it chose vision. It pursued a first look, first shot, first hit platform. An aircraft that could open hostile airspace without asking permission, maintaining absolute information advantage amid a sea of sensors and fires. From that emerged passive deterrence. If you can't detect me, you can't fire. If you can't fire, the fight ends before it starts. The F-22 was built to realize that logic, both the spearhead and the brain sharing data across the package. From a distance, the F-22 is only a blurred triangle. When sunlight skims across it, something's odd. It barely reflects. It's the sum of scattering geometry optimized to thousandths of a degree. Broken edges that disperse radar waves. S-shaped inlets hiding the compressor face. The strongest reflector on any fighter. Composite skins with RAM soaking up electromagnetic energy, turning echoes into background noise. But the Raptor isn't stealthy only to radar. 2 D-vectoring exhaust nozzles steer thrust while managing the infrared signature. Every panel, seam, and bay door is treated to reduce those sawtooth energy reflections. Small details that create a great silence. At its heart is a pair of Pratt & Whitney F119 PW100S, each greater than 35,000 pounds force. The prize isn't raw thrust, it's supercruise, roughly Mach 1.5 without afterburner. Supersonic cruise shortens the engagement window while cutting thermal signature, a survival factor against IRST and IRSAMS. Speed isn't just for pursuit. Here, speed is for disappearing on time. In the F-22, pilots don't hunt in the traditional sense. They view a unified tactical picture. AN/APG-77 AESA LPI, infrared sensors, ESM, AWACS, and teammate feeds. The system auto-deduplicates, rejects noise, and shows only what matters tactically. You don't need to speak loudly in a room if you can listen better than anyone else. That's EMCON in spirit. Talk less, listen more. Share via IFDL/link16/AWACS over narrowband signals that are hard to geolocate. Internal bays carry AIM 120 AMRAM, AIM 9X, JDAM/SDB. No external pylons, no drag, no extra reflections, because even a hook can betray you. Same sky, 2 languages. One side shouts with energy, The other whispers with data. Russia emphasizes close-in agility. Su-27/35 with high thrust, high AOA, extreme maneuvers. Su-57 Felon Fields, the N036 AESA, OLS-50 IRST, and 3D vectoring to win at short range. In return, radar/IR signatures are hard to seal in modern electronic warfare environments. China pursues long-range shots. The J-20's large body and fuel load, PL-15 greater than 200 kilometers to intercept beyond visual range. But seeing far leans heavily on AWACS, GCI, and ground networks, a weak point when links are jammed or intercepted. America chooses silence. When a Su-35 radiates, the Raptor hears it. ESM turns the opponent's emissions into signposts. When a J-20 sends data to GCI, the Raptor already has the full picture from AWACS and doesn't need to broadcast back. One side trusts maneuver to survive. The other trusts SA to avoid ever needing survival skills. Syria 2014. F-22s from Al Dhafra carried GBU-32s and a full air-to-air kit. Strict EMCON in release out, an opening strike as tidy as a pre-computed test. Euphrates Line 2018, overlapping airspace, hot deconfliction lines. Su-35S probed. The AN/APG-77 peeled back the clouds from beyond 150 kilometers. When the Su-35 lit its radar, the Raptor was already in the blind cone. No escalation, because the silent signal carried enough weight. Alaska ADIZ, 2020 to 2022. Multiple Tu-95/Tu-160 approaches near the ADIZ. F-22s held spacing so their signature only rippled on opposing systems. The crews called it the Alaska Ghost. You see the Raptor only when it wants you to. East Coast 2023. A reconnaissance balloon target moved along the shore. An F-22 from Langley with AIM-9X resolved it cleanly at high altitude. The first time the F-22 struck over U.S. territory. Brief and proportional. Every engagement pivots on the chain. Detect, track, designate, engage, assess. Advantage lives in time deltas. RCS, open source estimates put the F-22's X-band signature extremely low, yielding much later detection, tens of kilometers in many scenarios, while conventional fighters are seen from 200 to 250 kilometers. Radar. The AN/APG-77 in LP. I can detect /lock beyond 200 kilometers with a very low intercept probability. Each pulse is a tight-coded packet, hard to collect and hard to direction find. Kinematics. Supercruise around Mach 1.5 shrinks the golden window. The adversary needs to form a firing solution. A few hundred knots often translate to precious seconds of life. Refined EW. Instead of noising up the spectrum, the Raptor distorts probability, nudging tracks just enough that hostile fire solutions land in empty space. Quiet data links. IFDL/Link16 and AWACS provide mid-course updates to BVR weapons without the shooter having to yell into the electromagnetic sky. In practice, the Raptor often detects, locks, launches 20 to 40 seconds earlier. In air combat, 40 seconds is a lifetime. Avoiding a face-to-face duel isn't a lack of courage. It's a technical choice when the equation is already tilted to one side. When the F-22 proved its worth, close allies, Japan, Israel, Australia, asked, "Can we buy it?" The answer was no. The Obey Amendment, 1998, bans F-22 exports. The line closed in 2012, with 187 delivered. No export variant, no degraded configuration. This isn't just commerce, it's strategy. Keep stealth, AESA, and sensor fusion out of reach, even for those trying to make analogs. The Raptor keeps upgrading quietly. Increment 3.1/3.2A/3.2B, bolstered electronic warfare, two-way data links, and AM9X Block 2 integration. Its role shifts from a pure air dominance fighter to a sensor command node. The legacy spreads. The F-35 inherits sensor fusion. The B-21 pursues all-spectrum stealth. NGAD inherits the Doctrine. The greatest victory is making war unnecessary. As of 2025, fewer than 180 remain operational. They rarely make headlines. But each time a system senses a faint odd ripple in the high bands, the same question returns. Is an F-22 out there? Just to remind you, an unseen gaze is watching. The F-22 doesn't need display to be a legend. It only needs to exist, and its existence bends others' decisions. In skies where radars, missiles, and algorithms all dance, the Raptor is a cold reminder. The one who advances isn't the loudest. It's the last to be seen. This is Titan Defense, where technology and strategy meet and truth speaks.